Boy howdy, today I'm over here at RLT Suspension over here in South Jordan using my buddy Miles's shop. It's taken way too much persuasion and motivation to get this done, but finally we have Tracy's bed off. We're gonna be finishing the bumper and I'm gonna be showing you guys exactly what I did with the back half of the frame. I noticed in the comment section that you guys wanted to see what I did, so I'll show you some ins and outs, kind of what I did, and then you can go from there if you do want to do this yourself. But it's kind of just gonna be an informational video on just what I did to do the back half. I already got the bed off. It took like 2 minutes. I figured I wouldn't video it. It's gonna be boring, but we're gonna try and get this freaking dented out taillight piece fixed. It's roughed. It's freaking screwed. But the driver's side also blew up when me and Henry collided into each other, but I got new taillights, new housings as well. They're just new used. I wanted to get the older style, so I found some older style used ones for 20 bucks. They're OEM, whatever, nothing too crazy. Pulling this out, I don't really have a single idea. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. There's kind of not really any access. We're gonna do that a little bit later. Don't really care about that right now. I think today we're gonna sand all this stuff off, all the rust off. We're gonna finish welding some of the pieces. Don't have too much welding I need to do left, just odds and ends. And then I'm gonna sand the entire piece, paint it, call it good. I'm a freaking imbecile and I forgot my tubing that I was gonna do to make all this easier. I wanted to make some triangulation from the hitch receiver over here to this round tube, just so I can make some really tough yanks and other stuff, but I guess I'll do that at a later time. All right, that looks chopped. Anyways, I gotta finish welding up top here. I think, yeah, little corners, little pieces for the little new tubing supports that I did. We're not gonna worry about that for right now. So I'm gonna show you guys first what I did with the back half. I just forgot that we gotta turn the Forerunner off. It's been idling for like 40 minutes. All right, anyways, back to the program. So this is the back half to the truck. As you can see, if you look at your frame, it's not too much angle of the dangle right here. I put the truck on jack stands and then I put the frame height to whatever. I just made sure it was level, front and back and side to side. At that point, what I did was right behind the OEM bed mount for the front, I used a straight edge from my ground and I made a guideline, and then I did the other side as well, cut it with a bandsaw. In fact, I even think I used a sawzall, and I just made everything all straight, cut it with the sawzall. At that point, I had to say goodbye to the old frame, which was extremely daunting. This job was not fun. From then on, I got a piece of 2x4 that is in about to right here. I welded the inside of that, and I also welded around the OEM frame to the new 2x4. To the 2x4, I have this upward slope followed by the rear extension of the frame. And if I remember correctly, I think I did something about 20-25 degrees. Made a bunch of fish plates, really robust. Same thing right here. I used my press brake, I bent it so it's overlapping the new frame and the OEM frame, wrapped it around, and then I also Frenched my Rough Stuff Chevy 63 front hanger bolt in. That's how that looks. And then I used a piece of, I believe it was also some of the 2x4, and I made a cap. From then on, I made a bed mount in CAD. For this front crossbar, I used 1.5 DOM by 120 wall, made a bend, and that's also connected to my gas tank. I made the bend so when I do links, I can have a whole lot of up travel and not have my upper link contact the cross member. So I made everything really high clearance comparative. The old link was like way down here. I mean, the old crossbar was way down here. So I think I raised it about 3 inches, if I'm not mistaken, 3.5 inches. I can't remember the measurement anymore. But after I did all that, got my entire frame all in place, I made this rear cross member, made sure that if I were to link it, I can use this as a panhard bracket mount. I also wanted it to be my new EVAP box location. So other side, did the exact same mirror image, did the front bed mounts. I did the rear bed mounts as well at this point, which is very basic. I just made these in CAD. The next thing up for the task was the freaking fuel tank. I ended up pulling the gas tank 3 inches higher in just the rear, and I did a pretty similar to OEM mounting style. I reused the OEM gas tank strap, made my own mounts again, and then it's wrapping around to the other side that is bolted. I had to shorten the gas tank strap because the fuel tank did raise in the rear. So I made that strap a little bit shorter, redid it, and this is what it's resting against. It's a piece of, I think I cut 2-inch wide strap, and then I bent it over here just so everything fits and it's not moving around. And this thing is planted, like it's not going anywhere. It's just as good as the OEM, except it's a little bit more robust, a little bit more stronger. Had to move the EVAP box in return, which this wasn't a huge deal. What I ended up doing with this is I just got new vacuum line. That's actually going to be an issue. I need to get that sorted out. It's rubbing against my bed. I used fuel line for all this EVAP stuff, and I just rerouted it to where its old home was. For the box, made new bracket over here, made a new bracket over there. This sucker also doesn't move. It doesn't move at all. From then on, I had to rebuild my e-locker wiring harness, and I had to extend it along with making an extended brake line. So that's how the harness and that's how the brake line is ran. And I think I reused the old brake line, if I'm not mistaken, and I just used my brake line bender to bend all that. And as you guys know from my walk around video, I took out the LSPV. So I just have one brake line going to the back. The front mount to the gas tank, that's all the same. Nothing changed there. Which leads to the rear. I graphed the 2x4 into a piece of 2x3. And again, I used some pretty hefty fish plates on both sides. And I used a cap right there. And this is butted up against each other. And then I have the fish plates over this. So it merged right here. And then I put the cap on the downside. And then what I did was the shock hoops. The shock hoops are really righteous looking. I have everything in line. So it looks like a tube is just going through the frame. I have my Gen 1 Raptor shocks completely revalved. I have a lot of work done with the Raptor shocks. And then I got some Dobinson 2.0x2.0 bump stops. Made my own can mounts. With how narrow these stupid Tacoma axles are, I had to do a little bit of creative thinking, and I had to make some new leaf spring mounts. And this is just using 3/8, and it's essentially copying the rough stuff idea, but I made it a little bit wider. I actually need to make a third version of this where the leaf spring mount goes even further out to the brake line. And then I'm also going to have some interchangeable pucks so I can actually change the bump height if I do end up changing the 2018 leaf springs. Just so the bed had some support, I made some little tube caps and welded them on. And boys, I spent way too long on this project. This took like a month and a half of constant 10-hour days. I don't even know why it took so long, but it took so much time. At that time, I also chopped the muffler off and I got this Magna Flow. I need to finish it. She's a she's a jumper, I guess is what you could call her. But anyways, that's kind of a full breakdown of the back half of the Tacoma. Everything is 3/16 wall. It's really robust. And it's just freaking dogged looking. It looks insane like this. Although the leaf springs are just temporary. So I'm just gonna be cutting everything with a Sawzall, going hacksaw ridge on it, and then we're gonna be putting in some links. Hoping to do 16-inch coilovers, probably gonna do 14. Anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping. I need to get this de-rusted. All this is just jolted off. So I'm gonna get to that right now. Dang, dang, dang. Got everything all painted up, got the bed on. Might I say also solo bed operation. The taillights, the new taillights, that ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work out. The ports on these 95 through 2000 tails, that middle plug is not the same, and then the lower plug also isn't the same. With that being said, this also isn't the same. If anything, I wanted these. These are what I wanted. Can't do it. Won't happen. Kind of ticks me off. So, with that being said, I got new taillights on the way, and we're just going to ride a little wonky in the meantime. Tracy's feeling a little grunky, but it does look way better than how it was, all rusted down. Hey, that's dogged. Battery's on, truck starts, everything's good to go, bumper's painted. It's 10:30, my face is probably freaking dirty, I'm hangry, I'm ready to go home, and I gotta pull all the trucks inside. Big shout out to Miles over at RLT Suspension for letting me use his shop. If you guys need any of your shocks serviced or tuned, Miles at RLT Suspension over here in Utah is the way to go. If you guys like the video, subscribe, share it to a buddy, all that good stuff. I promise the next video is not gonna be some boring garbage shop project. It's gonna be us having a little bit more fun. We'll see you on the next video, guys. Peace out.